It's 8:08, 66 degrees at Wall Radio, and I have a guest in the studio. Welcome to Wayne Miele of the Orange County Fire Police and of everything in Orange County. You're here to talk about Goshen and the Great American Weekend and the Goshen Historic Track. And why don't I hush and let you do some of the talking? Hi, Wayne.
Good morning. Next Saturday and Sunday and Monday at the Goshen Historic Track, there is the 113th year of Grand Circuit racing. Longest running track, definitely in America.
Yep.
I believe even further out than just the United States. But we have racing going on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. On Saturday, there's the New York Excelsior races, which is 3-year-old pacers. There's the 3-year-old Landmark Stakes races, and also the CKG Billings, which I'm told is an amateur drivers only, and it's a club that travels around and races amongst themselves.
And this is all horse racing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's the Goshen Historic Track. The Hall of Fame of the Trotter is there. So it's trotting.
Yes.
Which I don't understand.
And
the difference.
pacers. There's trotters and pacers.
I don't understand the difference. Do you know?
The difference is trotters and pacers. The driver, it's not considered a rider. The driver rides in a sulky, which is pulled by the horse.
The little toe behind thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And other horse racing is where they're under saddle.
Okay.
Is what they consider that, is where the rider is sitting on the horse.
Okay.
I learned all of these things from going there. I volunteer my time there. The Orange County Volunteer Fire Police Association volunteers people there. And in return, we have our car show there on the grounds.
Which you had in May.
And it was fantastic. We had 220 cars, highest ever. We had 19 food trucks there, which kept everybody fed all day.
And this was all that the Goshen Historic Track let you use their location, which was very kind of them. And now here you are to promote their racing, not this coming weekend, not the one starting tomorrow, but a week from tomorrow.
Correct.
Okay.
We have the 3 days. They'll be racing all 3 days. It's only $5 admission to get in.
I was going to add $5.
I said the same thing. It seems like
there are people that'll pay that for one cup of coffee. I think you should spend it.
That's exactly what I brought up.
Yeah.
And children 12 and under are free. And being that it's running on the same weekend as the Great American Weekend in the Goshen basically the whole town, if you go to the horse races, you get a ticket. You can go in and out and walk across the street. There'll be food, music.
Oh, the Great American Weekend.
At the Great American Weekend.
That's another whole thing altogether. It coincides with the racing at the Goshen Historic Track, but the Great American Weekend, that's going to be just Saturday and Sunday put on by the Goshen Chamber of Commerce. And that's going to have vendors, food, and live music and Wall Radio. Yeah. We're going to be there on Saturday, July 1st, in the middle of the Village Green, right there. Look for me and Michelle and Jim Fry. That's going to be fun.
They also have rides for kids, like a small carnival area and stuff.
But it's only for kids, huh?
Yes, the rides are only for the kids. They really cover all the bases as far as the work that goes into a 2-day event.
Yes.
It's amazing.
And it's going to pretty much blanket the entire village of Goshen, starting at on the Goshen Historic Track and then just all the way up Main Street to the Village Green and probably spilling over onto some of the side streets, I'm sure.
There will be plenty of street closures just during the day, probably from 8 o'clock in the morning till approximately 6 o'clock at night. At night, all the streets will be open again.
Okay.
Also, the museum is there on the grounds, the Trotters Museum, which is also the Hall of Fame, like you said. That they're open from 10 until 4.
Both days?
Both
Saturday,
days.
Sunday? And what about Monday?
We haven't gotten confirmation on Monday yet. The other nice thing is, if you've never been there, I'm not a horse racing person, but I went through it. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
And when you think about at one location, well, two locations, 113 years of racing. It's remarkable. And there's horses that are boarded on the grounds that race, and then also horses for this weekend will be trailered in and stuff to keep their stature as the longest running track in America. They have to hold one race a year, minimum of one race.
So they're holding 3 whole days straight of races.
Which during COVID, there was issues.
Yeah.
What they did was the governor allowed them to have 1 day of racing with no spectators.
Oh,
so they kept their streak going.
You know, I've noticed over the years, anytime I've gone to the Goshen Historic Track, it is immaculate. It is so well kept. It's clean and repaired and always in excellent condition.
That's Jill, Linda, and Eddie are the 3 main people that I have contact with there. And they are there year-round, even though they only race once a year. They're there year-round. And if you go there anytime, it looks exactly the same. It's groomed. I mean, there's flowers, there's plants.
It's beautiful.
I mean, it's beautiful.
Freshly painted all the time. It's like somebody looks around. Is there anything that isn't perfect? Let me fix it now.
There's also going to be food available at the track also. Maxwell's has food concession stands there. And then on Saturday, they're going to have Darlene's Show Enough Good, which she will have. It'll be behind the grandstand. She will be selling banana pudding, apple cobbler, and peach cobbler that she makes herself.
Oh, wow. Okay. And that's not tomorrow, Saturday.
No.
That's a week from Saturday. I just want to be sure that people understand this is July 1st, 2nd, and 3rd that we're talking about it at the Goshen Historic Track. Okay.
And then on the 2nd and 3rd, What's the Scoop ice cream stand will have a booth set up.
Okay.
Where you can get ice cream right there on the spot on the grounds
I'm always in favor
track.
of ice cream.
Yeah. The other thing we have coming up at the Goshen Track in September, they're trying something different. They're calling it Junk in the Trunk. It's an event community sale. You could anything that you can put in your car, you can rent a spot on the track.
Like a big yard sale.
Exactly. So hopefully there'll be a lot of vendors in a small area.
I am a yard sale connoisseur. I just want you to know that. I'll be there.
Yeah. And that's September 17th. And there is a rain date for that of September 24th.
Okay.
The racing at the Goshen Track is rain or shine. The only thing that cancels races is thunder and lightning. If it's just rain, the grandstands are covered. You can go and be comfortable and watch the races, even if it's raining.
Okay, that's fair enough. So the Goshen Historic Track weekend is July 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. There will be horse racing. Did you ever get to ride one of those sulkies?
No, but they do have. One time, one of the volunteers from the Fire Police Association got there early. Turned out his niece was one of the ones that exercises the horses. They had a 2-seater cart.
Yeah.
So when I got there, I said, boy, that guy looks so familiar that's riding around on that cart. It turned out it was one of my fire police guys. His niece took him on with the 2-seater, and he got to ride around. Something different, like
I got to ride on a sulky one time at a different racetrack. They added an extra seat onto the side of the sulky, but it's just a bare frame of metal with a seat. And the seat that I got to sit on had no seat belt or handles or nothing to hold. I think my fingerprints are still embedded in the metal because I was gripping that thing tight. It was fun, though. It was fun. My horse lost, by the way.
They have the one thing that people should know going in, there is no gambling at the Goshen Historic Track.
Oh.
That
Okay.
came about, which I learned this from Michelle Taylor, listening to
Okay.
the radio. She had a spot on promoting the racing, and we found out that the Great American Weekend, this is their 40th year.
Mm-hmm.
The reason being, they were brought in when the family that owned the property that the Goshen track was on, when they did away with gambling, the Goshen Chamber of Commerce, whoever was in the seat at that time, came up with the Great American Weekend as a promotion for the track.
Okay.
Prior to that,
bring people into
to bring
town
people into town,
just for a weekend of fun, and by the way, stop by and see the racing. And that's what we
Exactly.
want to encourage now.
Yep.
Stop in to Goshen, the village of Goshen, anytime on the Great American Weekend, which is Saturday and Sunday, July 1st and 2nd.
Yep.
And stop by the Goshen Historic Track while you're there. And if you like it, go back on Monday, because the track will be open also on July the 3rd. That pretty much encompasses everything. Wow. Fun stuff going on in Goshen.
Yeah, I mean, it's
next weekend. A lot of people working hard to get ready for that now.
Yes, I'm sure of that.
Yes. Let's hear more, but let's take a quick break first. Wayne Miele is here talking about everything Goshen, everything that's happening there next weekend on Wall Radio. We are Wall Radio. It's 66 degrees now at 8:21. With me in the studio, Wayne Miele, who works with a whole bunch of different organizations, the Orange County Volunteer Fire Police, the Goshen Historic Track, and the Goshen Chamber of Commerce. And we're talking mostly about the Great American Weekend, July 1st, 2nd, and for the racing, also the 3rd in Goshen. Did I encapsulate that pretty well?
Yeah, that was
okay.
pretty good. Yep.
Good. And if you want information, the Great American Weekend does have a Facebook page. Just type in Great American Weekend. You can also look up
GoshenHistoricTrack.com.
That's good. And GoshenNYChamber.com also has information. There's a lot of places to get information on the whole weekend. If anybody wanted to be a vendor for the Great American Weekend, sorry, they're sold out. Which means there's going to be a lot to look at, a lot of people to talk to. The only thing there's not going to be a lot of is parking, but we'll figure it out.
Well, there will be plenty of parking. It's a 2-minute walk at the government center.
Right across the street.
Yes.
Yep.
So that makes it very easy, because they will have no street parking, because they're letting vendors park around the area that the festival is going to be at.
Uh-huh.
But also, if anybody goes, take notice of the very large fire truck that will be there hoisting a giant American flag in celebration of the weekend.
Well, it's 4th of July weekend, so sure.
That truck is a member of an organization that I belong to called the Catskill Fire Cats, which is an antique fire truck club. All the trucks are owned by members, and one of our members, Terry
Privately
Davis,
owned?
yes,
Okay.
they're all privately owned. One of our members, Terry Davis, has agreed to bring his ladder truck there and hoist the American flag for both days, Saturday and Sunday.
Oh, that's good.
So that'll be a nice addition. It gets the information about our club, the Catskill Fire Cats, out there.
Do you have a website for the Catskill
No,
Fire
we have
Cats?
a Catskill Fire Cats we have a Facebook page.
Okay, that's cool.
Same thing with the Orange County Volunteer Fire Police Association. We have a Facebook page also that you can go on and see. On the Catskill Fire Cats, there's car shows listed. There's musters listed, which are fire truck related car shows.
Okay, gatherings of
yes,
the vehicles.
They call them a muster. Why? That I don't know. And the Fire Police Association, there's information there about things that are going on with different fire departments, because we encompass all the departments in all of Orange County. We have volunteers. And a bunch of them will be there for the Great American Weekend helping out at the Goshen Historic Track. So if you see the people that are working the gates there, don't give them a hard time, because we're all volunteers and we're there for the same thing as you are, to have a good time.
Yes.
Exactly.
Thank you very much. And I have to say, we've enjoyed the planning stages here at the station as we put things together to appear at the Great American Weekend. Wall Radio will be there on Saturday the 1st in Goshen, and they've given us like the best real estate in Goshen. We're on the monument, right there on the village green, and I can't wait. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, everybody, make sure you stop by and say hello, because since I've been doing this, it's the only radio station that I listen to now, and
aren't you sweet?
Fantastic. And I'm getting information. I've lived up in Orange County for well over 20 years, and I'm learning new things every day that I'm picking up on Wall Radio.
There you go. Oh, aren't you a sweetheart? Wayne, you're always welcome to come here and talk to us on Wall. So to summarize everything going on, next weekend, the 1st and 2nd, is the Great American Weekend in Goshen. 2 days of vendors and food and a little carnival and food. And Wall Radio will be there for part of it on Saturday. And then Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, are the races, the horse racing, at the Hall of Fame of the Trotter location at the Goshen Historic Track, the oldest operating racetrack, horse racetrack in the country, at least.
Definitely in the country, and
I
believe further out than just the United States.
Wonderful. Yeah. Wonderful. And you'll be there all over the place in Goshen that day, helping out wherever you're needed, I bet.
Exactly. I'm usually at the museum gate. Many people, we've been doing it for so many years, people know me and they look forward to seeing me, because I'm a talker, if you can't tell that. And I enjoy talking to people. Not that I know anything about horse racing, but
you've learned quite a bit.
Yes,
over
I have.
The years, yes.
And we have a good time. And
so $5 admission to the racing, and no gambling allowed.
Right.
Okay, so don't go expecting to spend a day of gambling.
Right.
No, not about that.
And the other thing, once again, I can't thank Linda, Jill, and Eddie enough for what they do there to keep everything running smoothly and to keep everything immaculate.
And Lisa and Marley at the Goshen Chamber of Commerce. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Wayne
I appreciate
Miele,
it.
I will look for you next week at the Great American Weekend and at the Goshen Historic Track. Thanks for coming in to talk to us today.
Thank you.
Sure. It's 8:28. 2 minutes before the news at the bottom of the hour. I think it's okay to go into the news a little bit early. Do you agree? It's okay. You can say yes.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. 8:28, here's the CBS News update on Wall.